And we're live. It's EuroScrum. It's Friday. Woo. It's my teaching day. Sampraddy's going to drive the Scrum. Have you got a screen share that you want to share with us, Sampraddy? I can take
I'm
it.
already sharing my screen. So, as is always the tradition with the EuroScrums, we'll be doing a people-focused scrum. So let's start with you, Pete. Let me just find your profile. What have you been up to since yesterday's scrum?
Hi, Sampraddy, thanks. Since yesterday, I've been working on the Cordelia project. Again, just going through the social media stuff, looking for interesting stories to retweet and try and get a following on Twitter. I'm not sending out lots of links to the crowdfunding campaign yet because I don't want to come off as being pushy. Just kind of establishing a space on Twitter, get people thinking about educating girls to code and on these topics. Apart from that, I did a pull request for Cordelia to change the terms and conditions page to reflect the license that we decided to use, which was Creative Commons and MIT license. And now I'm having a discussion with Brian about the different licenses that we probably didn't consider at the beginning, and we're kind of narrowing down on a BSD or Apache license, which requires anybody that uses our product to give us attribution the same way as the Creative Commons does.
Okay, so I think that's all then.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. So any plans for today after the EuroScrum?
Planning to hook up and do some pairing with Brian this evening when he comes online. And
okay. And anything blocking you?
Blocking me? No, I'm thinking of how Cordelia will fit into educational programs that are already established, because we have Code Club, we have the Coder Dojo, we have Rails Girls, who are all brilliant, live courses that kids are going to and participating in, and I feel like we're kind of reinventing the wheel if we try and go up against those guys and compete with them to do after-school lessons. So I'm trying to think of a way that we can integrate our awesome live editor into their course material, and that's what's blocking me at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean just to comment on that as a blog. I also wonder if there are other existing kind of code editors. I don't know if there's a great open source, and I'm just thinking about how, for example, Code Academy or Code School or wherever have got these live online editors.
Mm-hmm.
And also that there are existing. I guess in any of the harder core coding platforms like Nitrous and Cloud9 just have kind of too many. There's likely to be problems in the first instance.
I mean, on Code School, on Code School, they have customized editors for each of the different types of courses. Like for Rails, they have a terminal, output log for tests, and then an editor. And then for the Get course, they just have a terminal. So it depends on the type of course.
Right, yeah. But of course. But what I'm saying is for Cordelia, there's a question of what's the area to put effort into, and so one concern might be, well, maybe rather than the thing is, anytime you build anything, you're also incurring a maintenance debt, so to speak. So and not that maybe the code editor is the key thing, and there isn't an existing thing that could be used in its stead, and the people involved in the project want to practice building an online editor, in which case, fair enough. But I think, and that's, as you're saying, Peter, so you're giving deep thought to, what's the key, added value you can give when there are all of these other existing offerings, right?
Exactly. How can we have the most impact?
Indeed. Indeed. Yes. Yes. I mean, in
Okay.
some ways, I've got this thought which I have to like unload from my head, which is about the. I mean, I think that the crowdfunding campaign is, they're great things. I also wonder if it was. I don't know. I think my priority would have been to, like we could have done a crowdfunding campaign for a local support or any of the other ones. I guess partly my experience with, doing Funniest Computer Ever. I would be concerned. I don't know. But if a crowdfunding campaign goes well, it's like, yeah, it can massively boost your project. I mean, it can be. It swings and roundabouts. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's difficult. I shouldn't go there. Anyway, I'm just sort of dumping that so that I can go back to the editor thing. I mean, I guess is the key thing really is that you want to provide something that these existing people can use, that's going to have a particular added value for the younger female segment. Is that right?
Yeah, right. I mean, there are, coding after-school courses that cater specifically for girls, like Rails girls, and those are like more occasional meetups.
Well, the Rails Girl seems to be targeted, as I understand it, more towards adults rather than towards kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then let me move over to you, Sam.
Okay.
I hope I'm not disturbing your MOOC work, but
No,
what
no,
have
no,
you
no.
been
I
up
mean,
to?
no, if I was really that busy, actually, things hopefully they're a lot more control than they were last week. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Famous last words.
So, what
But
have you been up to since yesterday's Scrum?
yeah, so well, basically, it was all autograders yesterday evening, and yeah, with Paul's help, we've got basically a completely clean production grader up that's passing all of the homeworks for the new MOOC. So that's very pleasing.
Awesome.
And basically, yeah, and Paul's been tweaking the scripts there. It's all running on Ubuntu 14.04. I've got the MOOC materials. The week one materials are done. I guess that was the critical thing that I should be checking, is whether any of the overnight, whether any of the TAs have reported issues with the materials that I'll be
Yeah,
releasing.
yeah. By the way, can I get the link for that? I think I'm not in that. What do you say? I'm not
The
in that.
tracker. Yeah, I've sent you the link before. Part of the TA training course was signing up for that, but I can add you to.
Okay, thanks. I checked it once and I think I wasn't there, but might have changed.
I'll add you now. You for some reason you're not in there. I've added you.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks.
and actually looking at that now.
And
Yeah.
one thing I was like against, not exactly against it, I was not very confident, was like in the IRC chat,
Yes.
people are like very free about discussing solutions and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they should usually give hints to each other, but usually sometimes they paste the detailed way of how they're doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not really sure about the way
Well, I
that
mean, I
is to
think
be
it's
done.
gonna. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, I think the idea is that you shouldn't be sharing a complete solution to the problem with people generally. I think particularly given we haven't actually got a link up showing the history of the chat, it's not such a big deal. I mean, to be honest, what I want to move towards is where everything is transparent. I mean, I think if you want to look at a solution beforehand, then you can do that. But the key thing, I mean, I think ultimately what people should be being graded on is not submissions to solutions to abstract problems. They should be being graded on how they actually move towards that solution in a pairing session. You know what I mean? Or even in a solo session, that they're talking narrative style over what's happening, or that they're just describing. But I think it's the process that they get there. But so, I mean, I think, in IRC, we need to keep an eye on people saying, for doing things that are kind of like sharing a PDF to the copy of the textbook, which is something that Armando and David are dead against. And ideally, people shouldn't be posting paste bins to complete solutions. But I think it's challenging if somebody's stuck on a particular thing, and they want to show the code that they've got so far, right? It's sort of, I guess, it's difficult to prevent them from doing that, because clearly they can just post it in the IRC. But I think what we should try and encourage people to do is to get into pairing sessions, just to show it to people. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we have these small private hangouts of groups of students sharing what they've got so far, and
Yes.
getting ideas from each other,
yes,
rather than in the mass
yeah,
chat room.
I think the reality is, right, that all of the solutions to all of the things are out there on the web for people to want them if they look hard enough, so I think we shouldn't get too upset about it, if you know what I mean. I guess, Sam Pretty, what are you? I think I understand where you're coming from. Are you proposing a particular action item? Oh, I think we lost Sam Pretty. Oh well, that's a shame. Ungraded exercise with due date. What's this? Okay. Then I thought I had added joining the community to the instructions. Okay. Anyway, so we lost Sam Pretty, so I think we'll have to just carry on as best we can. So I was talking about the auto graders. Yeah, we got sidetracked into the MOOC. Anyway, so my plan is this afternoon, my time, to be working on Pool with preparing homework 1 for its final release. Maybe walk through on that, more experimenting with the grader. Other things going, local support in the background. We have this issue with Ninefold that I can't use their command line stuff, and Reester is looking at it, but says she needs to talk to the dev team and so on, and it's a bit frustrating. But I think I can't burn time on it at the moment. There's too many other things going on. But so I think that's welcome back, Sam Pretty. I think that's so that's auto graders. That's local support. Yeah, so I'm hoping to try and finish getting my HPU class pushed out this morning, and then move on to the MOOC, and hopefully I won't be up too late tonight getting it all delivered. Yeah. How about you, Sam Pretty?
Okay, so this morning I was pairing with Marcelo on his website on Spike for this Scrum videos page, and we managed to get work done on integrating his separate Spike into website 1, and then we can start working on that once he wakes up. He's sleeping right now, so. And then I was supposed to meet up with David after the EuroScrum to pair on finishing up the volunteer feature flag and submitting a pull request. But it seems like he's offline on Skype, so I need to wait for some more time before I can start pairing on that.
Okay.
And other than that, I guess not much activity in the forums. I'll just monitor the IRC for now.
Thanks. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing I was asking before you went offline is, I mean, you're concerned about people sharing questions in the IRC forum. I mean, the action item there is I guess clearly for you can encourage people and say, maybe, rather than pasting a link to their entire code in the first instance, encouraging them to talk about it, and if they want, and saying if you want to share code, then come into the help desk hangout and try and get into a session with a TA. But is there some other action that you want taken related to that issue?
I don't really know. I guess we could make a post or something having where encouraging people not to post direct solutions in the forum or something like that.
Right. I mean, I think the difficulty is it will, we can keep mentioning it going forward. I think the thing is that when people, we've got that one issue with that one particular post in the forum where somebody did and it was removed, but then it's there in the edit history, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it. In that, deleting the entire post seems quite draconian since they did edit it, but I don't know how to delete the edit history. So, but I think it needs to. The problem is with announcements is that the announcements rarely get through to people. You need to kind of just kind of keep on combating it on a case-by-case basis, because it's only when people are doing things that they're in a mental state to. And then if the places where people have done it, that's partly I want, we've got the. If there are places where people have posted that and it says please don't do this, then as people are searching it and they find it and they read it by themselves, they realize the norms and what are acceptable and what's not acceptable. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my plans for today will be pairing with David and Marcelo, and there's nothing particular blocking me.
Okay. Great. All right. Thank you,
So I
Sanford.
guess, Pete, you're planning on pairing after this.
Yeah, I'll be around. So if there's anything you want to do, Sampradip, I'm up for that.
No, I'll be gone for about half an hour, and then I can come back and do some Cordelia if you want.
Okay. Yep. Sounds awesome.
Good stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Sam, I guess you'll be working on your.
I've got to do the HPQ course now. I'll set up a moot
Yeah.
camp once I start working on the week, and there'll be auto graders in the afternoon. So yeah.
Well, bye everyone then.
All right. Thanks. Bye for now.
Bye, Sampradip. Thanks.